JG has more of a control on what's going on. I'm enjoying it. I like the challenge of running different routes.
Dude, that gassed me up.
That gassed you up? DJ Chark saying that, Ben Johnson realizes his skill set. He realizes his strengths, what he does best.
That's just brilliant coaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, the guy you want to know the offense is your quarterback.
It shows that DJ Chark trusts and respects Jared Goff.
I might change my tune a little bit on Goff.
I think it's very different because JG has more of a control on what's going on. He has more of an input. So I can go ask the same questions that I would ask Ben or Coach L. I can ask him. And so that helps a lot when I can go, straight to the source, the guy that's throwing the ball just on small routes, trying to figure out what he's thinking. So when I'm lining up, I'm kind of thinking in the same way. And we still got a ways to go, but just like today, a few plays I saw what he was thinking before he thought, and I asked him if that's what he was thinking. He said, yeah. So just small things like that are really helpful when you have a veteran QB like he is. It's not one-dimensional at all. It's very complex, but it makes sense the way that his vision for me, I agree with it. A lot of things that I do well is, as in my strengths, he feels the same way. So he moves me around more than I usually would have been moved around past in my career. And so it's still a learning curve, but I'm enjoying it. I like the challenge of running different routes, being in different spots, not being stuck in one spot for any too long of a period.
That was DJ Chark, the newest Detroit Lions wide receiver to join the squad. And he's talking about his rapport building with our guy Jared Goff.
Yes.
As well as professionalism we talked about a little bit earlier this week too. But dude, I'm not gonna lie to you, that gassed me up.
That gassed you up?
That gassed me up, yes.
Made you feel good about it? Made you feel good about who?
Jared Goff, actually.
Jared Goff? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, DJ Chark, yes, what I'm saying? I'm good for him too. I mean, he sounds like he's getting comfortable in this offense, and he hasn't had a full offseason to get into it, but yes, it's his first year in the offense. But the fact that Jared Goff is a guy you go to with questions means he got that offense down like the back of his hand.
Yeah.
And he's a guy, I've said it before, he sounded, it's like that anytime you're doing something brand new. And it doesn't matter. Ryan Armani actually had the best way to articulate it is, he's been doing like show business or whatever for 20 years.
Yes. Guys
in the news every single day. He comes to Woodward Sports. It's a new experience for him. You know what I'm saying? It took him, they're almost on their first year here at Woodward Sports doing the show. And it took him almost a year, coming on the 12th, for them to feel comfortable getting the routine, and what I'm saying, and that's just the reality of life. It is that way. What I'm saying? Jared Goff is that type of dude, especially because we know back in LA he had the offense tailored to him even before he hit the field with Sean McVay and the mic. So the fact that our guy Ben Johnson, took 2 straight days to sit down and tailor this offense with Jared Goff, that's just brilliant coaching. You know what I'm saying? The guy you want to know the offense is your quarterback.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We're starting quarterback more specifically, and obviously it's Jared Goff for us, and he is, limited in his abilities physically, talent-wise. So, the better he knows the offense, the better he is. I remember when Peyton Manning was throwing ducks, what I'm saying, Denver. He was not the greatest Peyton Manning, talent-wise throwing the ball, but he knew that offense. He's Peyton Manning. He's a human computer. He still won a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? That offense was still very productive.
For sure. The best thing I took out of that was DJ Chark saying that, Ben Johnson realizes his skill set. He realizes his strengths, what he does best, and they're going to move him around and use him in a lot of different ways that he hasn't been moved around before like that in his career. So at Jacksonville, he was kind of just a deep threat. He was kind of just a guy that runs those vertical routes. He said his strengths, he can stretch the field vertically and horizontally. He can do those plays where he's doing, running across the middle, different crossing routes. Think of how dangerous a guy like that, at his size, with that type of speed, coming across the middle, doing a crossing route with a Jameson Williams, with an Amon-Ra St. Brown, with a T.J. Hawkinson. Those are guys you got to worry about. And if you look at his stats, in 2019, his last full season, he played 15 games. He had 73 receptions, 1,008 yards, 8 touchdowns. That was his Pro Bowl year. In 2020, he played 13 games. He had 53 receptions, 706 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So this guy can be explosive. He can be a factor in your offense even in Jacksonville, like he said, where they weren't utilizing him to his full capabilities. They weren't putting him out there and moving him around and using him in different packages, doing different things with him. So I'm excited to see the creativity of Ben Johnson bring out the best in DJ Chark, to put him out there in situations where he can use his speed, his athleticism, and his size to make things happen. So I'm really excited to see how Ben Johnson uses his newest weapon.
100%. I think you touched on another point too. Like he said that Jared's very aware of like what he's good at.
Yes,
they've had that conversation. The fact Jared, again, let's go back to like the Peyton Manning stuff. Peyton Manning had the wherewithal. He could control the offense, and to some extent too. I'm not trying to like speak on his physical ability, but Tom Brady, never the most like gifted passer. Never threw the prettiest ball, never threw the deepest ball, but it's a cerebral. That makes him great. Same thing with Peyton Manning. Well, up to the, obviously after the neck injury and stuff like that. But like for Jared Goff and for DJ to be on the same page with it as well. Like, hey, I feel like this is what I do best, and Jared's like, yo, I think that's what you do best too. Like that means he's gonna be utilized his full potential. We spoke on this with on the other side of the football with Charles Harris and the way he was able to revitalize his career here in Detroit because Aaron Glenn was able to utilize him and what he was good at. We obviously have a situation like that with DJ Chark and Jared Goff building that rapport. Both Jared Goff being utilized on what he's good at on the offensive side, and the offense is being tailored to him, and him just knowing it. And then DJ Chark, obviously, in his abilities, literally what he said. I told him this is what I think I'm good at, and Jared said, I think that's what you're good at too. You know what I'm saying? And then even after he's running routes, I don't know if you caught that part too. He's like, even though the ball didn't come to him, but he's like, hey, were you thinking this at this point?
Yes.
He says, yeah, I was. You know what I'm saying? Like, to get on that type of page this early, year one, and we already got Amon-Ra, is on the page with Jared Goff too.
Yes.
Like, it is something to be excited about, man. It really is.
It is. You need that kind of connection with a wide receiver if you're a quarterback, let alone being comfortable in the offense, but being comfortable with your pass catchers. Like, we've seen it, how when Jared Goff finally got comfortable with Amon-Ra, he started feeding him, knowing that he was going to make the catch, knowing he was going to provide success to this team. And so if he's already on that level with DJ Chark before the season starts, that's two guys already that you have at that level. We know that he's comfortable with TJ Hawkinson. Maybe not on that level yet, but that's a third guy that you could put there.
Oh, yeah.
DeAndre Swift catching the ball out of the backfield. He's comfortable
with
with
that.
The
highlight they had today?
Yeah. Deep ball to DeAndre Swift.
Hey, right away I tagged Madden because we talked about the catcher and y'all need to fix that.
For real. And so when you have that rapport with your pass catchers, like it's another coach on the field. Like he said.
Yes.
He said he can go talk to Jared Goff about what's going on with this scheme, what's going on with this play, and it's the same as if he would talk to Ben Johnson, if he would talk to Antoine Randall L, if he would talk to these coaches about what should he do here. That's what Jared Goff is telling him. So that is impressive to me on both parts. It shows that DJ Chark trusts and respects Jared Goff, and it shows that Jared Goff has already formed that bond, that symmetry with this guy that he hasn't even played in a game yet.
We even just like the leadership too, because like you and I, we were clowning in the back, like saying, kind of like we took the alpha out of him a little bit. Saying like, how is this guy commanding the huddle and stuff like that? But like now that he runs the offense, saying like he said, he's just as aware and fully suited up, booted up, ready to go as the coach when it comes down to the scheme and stuff like that. He's the one throwing the ball.
He is.
He's definitely the one to command at this point, this time of the year. I love that. And with that said, because we did clown him in the back
a lot.
Are you changing tunes a little bit?
I'm not. I like I said, I know what he is. If he, like I said, no one would be happier than me if he goes out there and he throws for 4,000 yards and 35 touchdowns. But I don't think it's going to happen reasonably. If I have him at, I think I said 35 to 38, 26 touchdowns and 12 picks. That's a good season in my eyes for Jared Goff.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will be happy with that season. I think that season wins you 7 to 9 games. But
ooh, Joe, you said 9. You're getting close to 10 there, Vinny.
I still know where he is in the pecking order of like the guys that you need to push you over the hump.
Yeah.
I'm not getting that. Neil and Sam Flannel say it all the time. With new information, you're allowed to change your opinion.
Yes.
But there's a lot of information already given to us and a lot of information already out on Jared Goff. If he goes out there and he proves he's an alpha, which I don't think he is, if he proves he's that guy, I'll be happy. I'll take my, I'll take my supper. I'll do whatever. Like, I'll admit that I was wrong. But I need to see it for an extended period of time. I need to see him show up in big games. I need to see him go against elite defenses and still produce. Like that's the biggest thing, is he can show up in regular season games. He can show up in matchups when he's got all of his weapons around him. But when you go up against a top defense in the playoffs, when you go up against a Super Bowl caliber team, are you the same guy? Are you going to go out there and produce? So I'll need to see it, but I'm liking what I'm hearing. It is training camp, but I really like what I hear from DJ Chark, man. It's that was my biggest takeaway, is because he seemed confident up there saying it too, which gives you confidence.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was going to say too. Is like I got to meet DJ, last weekend. And
Yes.
I said it earlier in the week. Meeting these dudes. I met Kayvon. I guess is the way I differentiated it a little bit. And Kayvon, we heard the stuff too about the way he was in interviews and stuff like that. About just being flashy type dude and like talking about things other than the football. Meeting DJ, Ayo, Monty Warrior. Who else we're talking about today?
Yes.
Penne. Football guys.
Football guys.
Football guys.
Dan
You know what I'm
Campbell
saying?
guys.
Yeah, truthfully.
Brad
You
Holmes
know what I'm
guys.
saying? And they're giving their go. You know what I'm saying? They're told what to do, and they're going to do it, and they're going to sell at it. And I will say, I might change my tune a little bit on Goff. Not to the caliber of him being Pro Bowl, not to the caliber of him being out cold, but just like I definitely got to cut back on the disrespect a little bit because, last year was everything that I said about being in a new situation. And one, we got to think about, too, like the relationship that he had with Sean McVay and the Rams organization. They went to the Super Bowl together. He was drafted there. They
Yes.
gave him the big-ass contract. He found his girl, I forgot her name, remember, she a baddie there, you know what I'm saying?
She's a real baddie.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a bit of a breakup. You know what I'm saying? Like, you definitely got to be down your jump. She's going from sunny LA to, no pun, we're Detroit. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But, to make that change, you're probably down dumps a little bit. Your confidence, down a little bit. We were a shitty team. We didn't have a lot to work with. Like, a lot of that's changed this year with not only the team that he has now, but the confidence in the offense quite clearly. He spoke there as well. And, I hear it literally in the interviews, too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
They say it with the chest.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I definitely think it's something different brewing in him this year.
Yeah.
And you said, we have a lot of information on. Well, some of that information is, let's be real about it. It's him winning games.
Yes, yeah, for sure. He's a guy that can win games. He's a guy that can go out there and win you 10 games, 12 games, win divisions even, if he's in, surrounded by the perfect team.
Yeah.
Has all these weapons, which he has now. Obviously, the defense still needs some tweaks, but the offense is pretty damn good where it's at right now.
On paper, for sure.
On paper, with all the weapons, if they can stay healthy, they're pretty damn good surrounding Jared Goff with weapons. So we'll see what he can do out there, but I'm still not expecting him to be that guy to lead us to the promised land.
Let me tell you what, Swing, I'm pumped for it.
You pumped?